Welcome back to the Weekend Review. We now take you to Wednesday's edition of Bayou Time, July 13th, where the District Attorney of Lafourche Parish, Cam Morvant, joined us on the set of Bayou Time. We talked about a number of things, ranging from bath salts and the new law that took effect on July 15th, banning those synthetic drugs, and also the death penalty. Joining us now, the District Attorney of Lafourche Parish, Mr. Cam Morvant, and welcome back to the program. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Jason. It's good being back. How you been doing?
I've been doing all right. Everybody's doing fine.
Good.
Just let everybody know, actually, my family's very excited right now. We have a baby on the way. So
that's what we were just talking about. Congratulations. That's a good deal.
Thank you very much. So what's going on in Lafourche Parish right now?
A lot. I've always tell folks this. It's a lot more to run in that office than what people realize till you actually get to sit in the big chair.
Right.
There's a lot going on. We handle, same thing with what you guys do over here, and you're right in the mix of it. You're part of it, but it's a big staff. I mean, we have 60-something people working at the office now, where we were 30-something when I started almost 10 years ago. We handle a multitude of issues a day: civil, criminal, child support, juvenile, just like you guys do. It's a big operation.
And you have to have a good support team, I would think, in order for you to be able to do your job as the manager of the whole office, if you will.
Yeah. There's no way that any of us could operate as a district attorney without a good support staff. I mean, we have folks that are very good at what they do. And most people, when you talk about a district attorney, the only thing they think about is prosecution, the prosecution of criminal cases, which that's what the definition of a district attorney is. He's the chief prosecuting officer in his respective parishes. But you and I talked briefly on the phone this afternoon. I know you're involved in some of Joe's outside programs in the schools and different things like that, and we have that also. Project Lead. We have graduation programs that we put on in the schools. We have violent intervention programs that we do in the schools, and we have internet programs that we go in and talk to kids about the use of the internet and the problems that can come about as a result of it. We do impaired driving courses to the seniors before they graduate, and we incorporated dealing with texting while driving.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that that we do other than just the prosecution of criminals. And the way I look at it's a lot better to be a little proactive than reactive. In other words, try to do some things to prevent us from seeing these folks in the courtroom, and especially some of the ones that we end up seeing on more than one occasion. They just keep coming through.
And as the district attorney, you have to use your discretion. I mean, that's the main job you have. And sometimes I would assume you have to make some decisions that they're tough decisions to make. I understand if I make this decision. Some people may say, well, why'd you do that? That's wrong. And then the other side might say that. But you have to sometimes, I guess, just use that discretion. And how do you handle that situation?
I don't know if I can give you a real definitive answer on it. I'll be honest with you. I struggled with that sometimes when I first went in, because when you first start with whatever you're doing in your new profession, you want to be accepted by everybody. You want everybody to like you, but you're going to learn quick in this business that everybody is not always going to agree with you, and they're not always going to like what you do. So what I always fall back on is that the people of Lafourche Parish elected me as district attorney to use good judgment, and I try to use good judgment. And you're right, I make decisions every day. Sometimes maybe 15, 20 decisions a day. Sometimes you get into more than I can count. And some of them are very significant. They affect the lives of other people. They affect the lives of the victims of a crime. They affect the lives of the people that committed crimes. They affect the parish as a whole, our state as a whole sometimes. And so you just have to make sure that you're doing it for the right reason, that, again, you're using your good judgment and making those decisions. I don't just haphazardly make decisions. I mean, people know when they come to me with something, rarely am I going to give them an answer immediately. I want to look into it. If somebody calls me about a case, unless I've read it or looked at it, I'm not going to make a decision. I'll give you an example. I've got a practice that when people make appointments to come in to see me, my secretary knows that at least a day before that appointment, I want those files on my desk as a certain spot where those files are put, and I read them. I look at everything on them, whether the victim's coming in or someone's coming in, defense lawyer, someone's coming in. I'm going to be familiar with that particular case before they come into the office so we can fully discuss it. And then at that particular point, I may make some decisions on it. But yeah, we use our discretion as district attorneys every day.
And I guess, you know, the volume of cases, that's probably what the general public doesn't understand, the amount of cases that come in from misdemeanors and felonies. I mean, all the way up from
21,000 last year.
Wow, that many, yeah.
Counting felonies, misdemeanor, child support, and juveniles. 21,000 cases that we filed. That's not counting the number of cases that came through our office.
Okay.
That may have just been reviewed. And so it's a big operation. We have 5, just like you guys do in Terrebonne, we have 5 divisions of court, 5 district judges. We have a city court judge. We prosecute all juvenile crime in Lafourche, and we also prosecute all juvenile crime in the city of Thibodaux in city court. We don't prosecute crimes in the city court anymore. We quit doing that several years ago, but we prosecute all the juvenile crimes. So it's a big operation.
Wow. Let's talk about an issue that has come up in the recent past, and that's of synthetic drugs. And you know, I know that's an issue you've been concerned about, along with other DAs around the state. And I think the governor signed the bill today.
Yes.
You know, banning those substances. So now it'll be illegal July 15th. What do you know about that law in general? I mean, I know you were on here earlier discussing with Martin and Joe Waits about that.
Right.
You had a whole
and
program.
we had a representative, I think, from Terrebonne Parish Drug Task Force.
Yes.
On with
Darryl Stewart.
Darryl, yes. That's right. I forgot his name. Yeah, that's going to become effective in the next couple of days. I mean, you know, again, you know, we're going to enforce it. I feel strongly that the merchants that we have in our respective parishes absolutely should not be selling this stuff. Now, what's interesting, though, what I've already learned, what's occurred is that when this bill was proposed, this legislation was proposed, that the manufacturers of these products already started manufacturing new batches and putting different ingredients that are not listed as the illegal ingredients in the statute. There is a catch-all part of the statute, when I mean catch-all, that makes it illegal for someone to sell or to give or whatever a substance to someone who has the substance has the same effect as an illegal drug like marijuana or something of that nature.
Okay.
I spoke with members of our drug task force before I came on this evening, and in Lafourche Parish, the bath salts issue is not as much of an issue. Most of that has been removed from the shelves. Practically all of it has. The synthetic marijuana, or what is sold as potpourri,
yes,
is still on the shelves, and but it's been remanufactured already. And so one of the things that I would definitely like to say to everyone out there, and everyone that's listening to us, I'm not just sitting here as a district attorney of Lafourche Parish. This stuff's dangerous. We talked about it. We've had some shows on it here already, and it is very dangerous. So then we get down to, you know, we can say, all right, it's the merchant's fault for putting it on the shelves, but there's also some personal responsibility not to take something that has a clear label on it that is not for ingestion, it's not to be smoked. So there is also some personal responsibility, even for young people. They have to use some good judgment not to go into these places and purchase any of these products that's going to cause them some permanent health risk. It's going to cause them harm. I mean, it's going to put them in a hospital. It can kill them.
Right.
And so that's one of the things I would appeal to, and also the parents out there to, you know, talk to your kids about it and make sure that they understand, you know, the dangers of going out and purchasing these things. So you have some responsibility out there ultimately, and I think, you know, and Martin has been a crusader, let's say, on this, and he's been a strong advocate, and he's been a strong voice on opposing having this stuff in the stores, and I agree with him 100% on that. That obviously we wouldn't be having this conversation if these folks weren't selling it.
Yeah.
All right, but there also has to be some responsibility for the general public not to go in and purchase this junk and try to smoke it or try to ingest it, because it's going to put you in a hospital. I mean, that's what's going to happen to you.
Not that you or I or anybody would want to advocate somebody doing the actual real marijuana, if you will, or real drugs.
I mean, it's illegal.
But you know, some of this stuff has actually worked from some of the classes that I've gone to, and I know I've seen you there at those same classes. They've kind of said, look, this stuff's 10 times worse and more potent than this stuff, and it'll kill you.
That's 10 times is what Darryl talked about last time we were here, and it's 10 times more potent than the regular, what we call street marijuana. So you're right, it can cause some serious problems. And apparently it's going to be illegal now. So, you know, it's the same thing with the marijuana. You know, right, we don't reference the marijuana because it's illegal.
Right.
And it's kind of like you know, when we put the driving while impaired programs on for seniors, I remind them that not only should they not be driving while they're impaired, it's illegal for them to be drinking in the first place because they're not of age. And so you're right, it goes without saying that the marijuana is illegal. They should not be fooling with that. But definitely this is just, look, this is a fad that we're going through. And it's something that came about and that some folks that want to make a lot of money found a market for. And we know now, I don't think people realized even maybe a year or so ago how dangerous this stuff really was, at least in our local area. And now we know it. We know it's dangerous. So I have sometimes a difficult time trying to comprehend why somebody would walk in and buy it and then try to ingest it. But, you know, we have that, unfortunately.
I know y'all have many big cases on the docket in the area, and one of which there was an article in the paper, so just wanted to get your touch on it, you know, the death penalty case that y'all handling there. I know you can't get into the facts of it, but,
right.
You know, some people might want to know why. And we were talking about discretion as a prosecutor. Sometimes you got to make those tough decisions on the cases.
Well, there are difficult decisions on both ends. The district attorney in Louisiana makes the sole decision if someone's indicted for first-degree murder by the grand jury, makes the sole decision on whether or not to seek the death penalty. That is not done by the grand jury, it's not done by a judge, it's done by the district attorney. I've made that decision on a few occasions since I've been in office. I take that, making that decision, obviously very serious. That is the ultimate penalty that we can give someone, the death penalty. And so I take my time, I'm very deliberate on it. I tried a death penalty case a couple of years ago for over 5 weeks, 7 days a week, and it was a horrendous case. I waited almost 6 months before I filed my notice to seek the death penalty. I wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. And once I did it, because I firmly believe I had made the right choice, I went forward with it, and we tried the case. The jury ultimately found the person guilty of the crime, but did not give him the death penalty, which is fine. That, as I told them for 5.5 weeks almost, that was their decision to make, and they made it, and I respect that. In this particular case, we had 4 individuals that were arrested, and the grand jury indicted them for first-degree murder back in June of last year.
Okay.
We then subsequently, I don't know the exact date, but it was a few months later, I filed a notice to seek the death penalty based upon the facts that we had with us, in front of us at that time. And you being a prosecutor, you know, sometimes the facts of a case change for whatever reason. Yeah. You get additional evidence in. There may be some evidence that was being worked, or there may be some new evidence sent off to the crime lab that was worked, or there may be some witnesses emerge, or a lot of different things come up in criminal cases. That's what makes the profession so interesting, is you never know what's going to come up next. But anyway, there's been some changes in that particular case factually. Some facts have changed that I do not believe rise to the level of a first-degree murder, which then would not rise to the level of a death penalty case. We represented the case to the grand jury Friday afternoon in Lafourche Parish, and the grand jury returned indictments of second-degree murder and obstruction of justice. Second-degree murder carries life in prison without probation, parole, or suspension of sentence, and obstruction carries a maximum up to 40 years. The grand jury returned that verdict. I'm satisfied. Returned that finding, that indictment. I'm satisfied with that finding in that indictment, and we're going to go forward with it. But I had the discretion on the end for the death penalty part, and I felt, again, that based upon some, and I'm not going to get into it tonight. I don't talk about the factual issues of a case until they're over. But I just felt like it did not then rise to the level of a first-degree murder, and subsequently seeking the death penalty. I would never. I couldn't live with myself if I did that. And I'd like to believe that all the people that we prosecuted over the years, we prosecute those persons for the crimes that they commit. We're not gonna overbill somebody and then all of a sudden get a guilty verdict on something that we don't truly believe that they did. I think that's the worst thing a prosecutor can do. So I'm very conscious of that. I'm conscious both about filing it, and I'm conscious about going forward with it. And if I'm going to go forward with it, it's because I really believe that we need to go forward. But if I don't think we do, then I'm not going forward with it. And you know, people can understand or not understand, but that's what they elect me to do, to make those calls, and I made the call on it.
All right. We're about out of time. I wish we could visit for a lot longer.
Okay.
There's plenty of things we could talk about, and we appreciate everything you do for the community. I know the citizens out there in Lafourche Parish appreciate it, from all the minor things decisions you make to the big decisions you have to make, like we just talked about. We thank you, and we thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you. It's my understanding that I think we're going to try and start working out the second Wednesday of every month. Very good. Martin and I have been talking about it over a period of time, and we're going to try and just fit it into the schedule. So it's good being here tonight. It's good seeing you.
Same
Congratulations
here.
Again.
Thank you very much.
Take care of yourself.
Well, we'll see you next Wednesday or the following month then.
Okay, Jason.
And we thank the District Attorney of Lafourche Parish, Cam Morvant, for joining us on the set of Bayou Time. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have Thursday's edition of Bayou Time.